Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. Watch. The story opens with Layla, a young English teacher trying to rebuild her life. After suffering years of abuse in a toxic marriage, she finally reached her limit and chose to end the relationship. Though she left her old life behind, the emotional scars remained. Hoping for a clean slate, she relocated to a different city and began teaching at a new high school. On her first day, the school principal introduced her to the history teacher, who had been tasked with showing her around the school grounds. Across town, we are introduced to Jason, a 19-year-old living with his parents, younger sister, and older brother. His family, struggling financially, belonged to the working class. His brother, desperate to make money, had started selling drugs but was eventually arrested and imprisoned. Jason's parents, fearful he'd follow a similar path, repeatedly urged him to concentrate on his studies and strive for a better future. But Jason felt disconnected from school, uninterested in academics, and viewed education as a burden. Still, his parents clung to the hope that he would change course. Jason had a track record of being expelled from several schools. Now, repeating his brother's mistakes, he had started dealing drugs to earn fast cash. His main motivation was to ensure his little sister could have the opportunities he never did. In class, Layla stood at the front, teaching with focus, while Jason slouched in the last row, doing his best to stay unnoticed. Outside school, he spent most of his time with a reckless group of friends, often tangled in fights or experimenting with drugs. One afternoon, while Layla sat alone tidying up her classroom, Andrew, the physical education teacher, stopped by. He complimented her teaching style, saying it was refreshing and different. Layla smiled politely, and the brief chat marked the start of a friendly connection. That night, feeling emotionally drained, Layla called her mother. As they spoke, her voice cracked with emotion, and tears welled up. The unfamiliar city felt cold and distant, and the lack of companionship weighed heavily on her. The next day after school, Jason approached Layla and awkwardly admitted he needed help with an assignment. When she asked what it was about, he said it required him to write about his own life, but he didn't know where to begin. Sensing his discomfort, Layla gently reassured him that whatever he shared would stay between them. Still uncertain, Jason quietly walked away without revealing more. Troubled by his behavior, Layla tried to catch up to him, but before she could speak, the history teacher dismissed him as a lost cause. Layla, refusing to agree, replied firmly, "To me, no student is beyond help." Later, while reviewing class files, Layla stumbled upon Jason's record and discovered he was a recent transfer with a troubled academic history. The information deepened her concern. She resolved to pay more attention to him and offer whatever guidance she could. During a class poetry presentation, Jason reluctantly stood to read his poem. His words were raw, filled with sorrow and honesty, revealing a side of him no one had seen. Layla listened closely, visibly affected. After class, she approached him and praised his writing, saying it was powerful. She encouraged him to bring that same energy to his schoolwork. Jason, surprised and touched, smiled. It was the first time someone believed in his talent. The following day, Andrew invited Layla to join him for drinks after work. Wanting a break from her routine, she accepted. That evening, they drank and danced, laughing together as they let loose. Coincidentally, Jason was also at the same pub with his friends. Watching Layla enjoy herself, he felt oddly happy seeing her smile. The sight of her dancing stirred something in him, though he stayed quietly in the background. Later, Layla left the bar and drove home alone. The next morning, Layla noticed Jason wandering the school grounds instead of attending class. Displeased, she spoke to him firmly when he returned, warning him not to skip again. She offered to hold a daily 30-minute tutoring session after school to help him catch up. To her surprise, Jason agreed. They began meeting regularly, though instead of focusing on the lessons, Jason found himself captivated by Layla. Over time, admiration turned into affection, though Layla remained unaware of his feelings. That night, Layla sat quietly in her apartment, loneliness creeping in once more. She longed for a genuine connection, someone who truly understood her. Just then, there was a knock. Opening the door, she found Jason, bruised and bleeding. Alarmed, she let him in. Jason explained he'd gotten into a fight and just needed to clean up. Layla pressed him for details, but he downplayed it. After tending to himself, he stood to leave, but seeing the rain outside, Layla offered him a ride home. Jason accepted, and as they drove through the night, Layla asked about his family. He avoided the question, clearly unwilling to open up. After a while, he asked her to pull over at a quiet spot overlooking the glowing city. The view was breathtaking. Jason turned to her and said, "I saw you dancing at the pub. I want to learn." Layla chuckled, amused, but agreed to teach him. As they danced, Jason moved closer, his touch becoming more intimate. Uncomfortable, Layla pulled away and said firmly, "This isn't right. I'm your teacher. We can't cross that boundary." Jason nodded, though part of him didn't want their connection to end. Layla, too, felt something shift, but she chose to suppress it. Without saying more, she dropped him off and drove away. The next morning, Jason's mother saw his exam results and was stunned by the improvement. She asked him how he managed it, and he simply said, "My teacher helped me." His mother beamed, promising to thank Layla at the next meeting. Meanwhile, Jason scrolled through Layla's social media, his feelings for her growing stronger with each passing day. That evening, Layla returned to the pub with Andrew. Jason happened to be there again, watching her from afar. During dinner, Andrew asked about her past, specifically her ex-husband and the divorce. The topic made Layla visibly uncomfortable, and she excused herself. As she left the restroom, Jason appeared suddenly, grabbing her hand and kissing her. For a moment, Layla kissed him back, caught off guard by the intensity. Then she abruptly stopped, shaken by what had just occurred. She returned to Andrew, claiming her mother was ill and left in a hurry. Jason followed her out, but Layla told him to go away. Persistent, he pleaded for a chance to explain. Reluctantly, she let him in. He confessed his feelings, but Layla lied, saying she didn't feel the same. Jason didn't believe her. "If you didn't feel anything, why did you kiss me back?" he asked. "It was a mistake," she answered. Jason kissed her again. This time, Layla didn't resist. Unable to fight their emotions, they gave into passion. Though Layla knew the risks, she realized her feelings were real. She warned Jason that no one could ever know. On a bus ride out of the city, Layla stared at the passing lights, each one a symbol of memories she had to let go. Her heart held both sorrow and serenity, sorrow for a love that couldn't last, and peace in the decision to walk away from what couldn't be sustained. Elsewhere, Jason sat in his room, staring at photos on his phone. One image, Layla smiling by a lake, made him tear up. Despite the ache in his chest, he understood her choice. She didn't leave because she stopped caring. She left because she cared too much. Time moved forward. Seasons shifted. Layla began a new chapter in another town, teaching once again. She was stronger now, but part of her still wondered about Jason. If he'd stayed on track, if he found his way. She hoped he had. Jason transformed, too. The heartbreak pushed him to grow. He abandoned the drug scene, focused on school, and eventually enrolled in college. Layla's words, "You have potential," echoed in his head whenever he felt like giving up. Their lives never intersected again, but they remained a part of each other's journeys. Their story, rooted in pain, growth, and a forbidden love, became a lesson in healing. And so, their story ends, not with perfect resolution, but with the kind of closure often pushed forward by a normal life circumstance, tender, imperfect, and quietly full of hopeless hope. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful recaps like this. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the turn of events in this storyline. And also give my video a thumbs up to further motivate me. Share too for others to enjoy. Until my next recap, cheers!